It is here. It is today. We are this close to the official transition, the official restoration of civility, the official change. Noon, noon, noon. Do not let anything today interrupt this feeling. Do not let any event, any commentary, any snide remark, anything interrupt this. We'll talk about the pardons. We'll talk about this. But you are going to have to, and I'm sure you already have, but in the event you haven't, fine-tune your reaction. Understand what is happening here. This is the beginning of an America that your grandchildren, if you already don't have grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will enjoy. This is not just an election. This is not just about, Donald Trump. Something happened so tremendously. And I want to thank Joe Biden and Kamala and the woke generation, the woke, I want to thank them. I want to thank them because nothing that we are feeling today, nothing in any way could possibly allow us to be progressing this far, this fast. I'm serious. This was meant to be. This was something which God or nature or something ordained or allowed, and it would not have happened this quickly, this dramatically, this suddenly, this vociferously, were it not for the complete and total incompetence, the criminal incompetence of what we were through these past 4 years. We could not be here today were it not for that. And the 4 years could not have been possible without the initial 4 years of Donald Trump. Donald Trump was allowed to win the first time. Donald Trump was allowed to win in 2016. And it's very, very simple. Had they decided that they wanted Hillary Clinton, they could have fixed it like that. But they didn't. And we don't know why. But the premise is, and the actuality is, the truth is, if they wanted to change this, they could have changed it. But they didn't. Because nothing could have been allowed, nothing could have happened with this celerity, this speed, this acceleration, without 4 years of Trump. To rile the crowd, to bring them out of nowhere, because when Donald Trump first came on board, all of a sudden we saw this new strain of radical left, progressive, whatever you want to call it, that we've never seen before. It's almost like saying a new strain of syphilis, a new strain of gonorrhea, a new strain of, oh my God, a new strain. It's a variant. It's a COVID variant. It's the Omicron variant. It was this thing. We've always had lefties. We've always had progressives. We kind of said, okay, whatever they were. But we saw something recently that defies description. And it could not have occurred were it not for the 4 years of Donald Trump before that. They allowed Donald Trump to win. They wanted Donald Trump to win. They could not have, there could have been no Joe Biden. There could have been none of this stuff. There could have never been a Rachel Levine and trans and Leah Thomas. Name this. You could have never primed the country to basically suspend all rational thought were it not for 4 years of Donald Trump. Donald Trump made the left crazy. He did something to them. It was this violent reaction. It was like a peanut allergy or something. I don't even know what the particular word is or the phrase or the ideology, but it's true. He changed everything. He changed everything, the complete and total focus of this country. He changed everything. He inspired in people a hatred, an absolute how do I say this? He inspired this lunacy, this anger, this perfervid, off the chain reaction to everything. And it seeped down and percolated down into families and friends and relationships and businesses and people being asked to leave in Maxine Waters and get out and screaming in MAGA. And I mean, it was a movement. Donald Trump, came in and shook the country. He awoke. He awakened. He energized the radical left, but gave it a focus nobody's ever seen before. We've never seen this. We've known there's always been lefties. There was Jane Fonda, and there was Barbara Streisand, and they just did. But Trump potentiated them. You see, one of the things, there's a lot of dormant cancers in us. And when a lot of men, especially, play around with human growth hormone and steroids, they vitalize and revitalize and energize cancers that would have been dormant, that would have never been realized, that would have never been potentiated. Which is true. Benzodiazepine is one thing. Valium is one thing. Alcohol is another. Put them together and you have a synergy. You have a potentiation of one with the other. It's like, wow. Binary bombs. Two seemingly kind of inert, chemically inchoate substances. Put them together. Bow. Donald Trump came to this country, to the world, and it was this shockwave that hit everything. Everybody came out of the woodwork. He did this, and we had to suffer, but it was in preparation for today. It's almost like you're sitting back and you're saying, not now. Not now. Remember during Rocky when Mick said, come on, go southpaw. Now, Rock, now. Now do it. Now do it. Now we're ready. What Trump is going to do now could not have been done at any other time but now. And the sad part is, we had to allow this horrible invasion of our sovereignty with millions. We will never get an idea. Millions of illegal aliens. Many of them horrible, terrible, God awful. Many of them the worst form of vermin, some of them benign, some of them innocent, some of them. And what is it? What was the reason for it? To do a couple of things, to completely just in this groundswell, this tsunami, this avalanche of humanity, with the goal of destroying us, going into individual cities, individual sovereignty parcels, cities and counties and school boards, overwhelming them, going into destroying hospitals, school boards, overtaxing limited students and teachers, trying to dilute our culture. God damn it, our culture. We are Americans. We are Americans. We may have a funny last name. We may speak different languages in addition to American, but we are American. And we have, with America, a rich history. We have American values. We have American standards. We have things that we do that are prototypically absolutely American and like nobody else's. Oh, we'll have Mexican food here. We'll have spaghetti here. We'll have chow mein here. But we're American. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. You must assimilate. Bring your cultures. God bless you. I live in the greatest city, I think, in the world. I've got cultures. I guarantee you, I can drive you to. You won't believe what we're doing. We have heterogeneity is our benefit. It's like having different kinds of music, different forms of jazz, different forms of spices. Yes, but Italian food is Italian food. They don't have tacos in Italian food. Okay? You're not going to find spaghetti in Sinaloa. You're not going to find butter in certain places. You're just not going to do it. We are American. And we saw something that you can never, ever forget. Guess who our enemy was? Who? Who was it? Who was the enemy? Who were the people who came in and tried to destroy us? Who? Who was it? Russians? Nope. Ukrainians? Nope. Globalists? Maybe. Who? Who were the enemies? Who? Americans. Traitors. Quislings. It's like having your immune system haywire, where you are destroying your body, you're consuming yourselves. The people who destroyed us were Americans, not for nobody else, no foreign, not the people coming over. No. But the Rubens and the Norm Isons and the Joy Reeds and the Joy Behars and all of these people who came out of nowhere, who had a loud mouth and a limited mind, minuscule forms of mentation, very, very, very unsmart, uneducated, unwise, unsophisticated. These people had to be turned on and they had to be unleashed. And what was it? Issues? Of course not. Donald Trump. Donald Trump was that red flag. Donald Trump was that peanut allergy. Donald Trump, let me say this again. Listen to what I'm saying. The enemy are Americans, people here. And many of them were brought out in terms of entertainment media, and that's why they have to be crushed. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I think you're thinking that and I'm not talking about ever violence. Never, no. The minute you lose your standing, you've lost. Oh, I don't want to hurt you like that. Oh, no. No. That's too easy. No. Totalitarian, no. Fascistic, no. Law and order, yes. Let me say this. The people who are the enemy are your cousins, your neighbors, your co-workers, your in-laws, they're here. Those are the people. They're the ones. It's not Zelensky. It's not Putin. It's not Xi Jinping. They're not Americans. They're not supposed to like us. They're not supposed to. It's not Israel. It's not Hamas. It's not, no. It's Americans. Your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your cousin, the people, these people, these CNN. This is it. These are the people who stirred the pot. They were the N word. They were the German symbol, the swastika. They were a kind of an intellectual. I don't know what you hate to use the word fascism or something. They're the ones. Be not mistaken. That's it. And they're not going anywhere. And they have to be destroyed, not physically, not violently. Every single thing has to be done to destroy these people, to absolutely grind them into dust. But first, you must celebrate the day. Sit with your family. Watch this. Watch this transition of power. This is history. History like you cannot believe. Now, I want to talk to you about something which I hope you notice. Now, I have put out a new two, I don't want to call them newsletters. I hate that term. But whatever you want to call it. And the first one went out today, and it was the Trump MAGA inauguration is here. What to know and watch for. That was kind of this was at about 6:30. And I just put out a brand new one that says, Biden pardons everyone. Presidential pardon, overuse, and abuse. We have to abolish the pardon. We have to. Maybe this isn't the day for you. Maybe you don't want to hear this. Maybe that because you're thinking, oh, I want the J6 people. The pardon was designed historically as the tool of last resort, used sparingly to correct and prevent miscarriages of justice in an era when our legal system was so rudimentary, so brand new, so prone to error. The Whiskey Rebellion, the Civil War, when we said, what do we do with these people? Alexander Hamilton called it this benign prerogative in Federalist number 74 by arguing that it could restore tranquility. I'm reading from my newsletter. That it could restore tranquility during times of rebellion or insurrection. The noble intent has long since been abandoned. Modern clemency is not about healing the nation or correcting wrongs. It's about consolidating power, rewarding allies, and insulating presidents from political fallout. You understand what I'm saying here? This is critical. This is critical. Even another quote, even Biden's more symbolic pardons, such as posthumous clemency for civil rights leader Marcus Garvey, reveal the limitations and contradictions of the pardon power. While Garvey's case represents a historical injustice that deserves acknowledgement, such actions do little to address the systemic inequities in the present. They serve as political gestures rather than meaningful steps. This is all bullshit. Fauci, General Milley, the J6, what? What are you talking about? Sorry. And the same thing goes, I'm not going to say this. Charles Kushner, Trump's going to use it too. We'll wait for later. Clemency is one of those things where you like it when it's for somebody you like, but it is abused. It's got to stop. The Constitution, the forebears, never intended for this. That's all I will say on that subject. So when people are screaming, one of the hardest things to do is, if it's wrong for Fauci, it's wrong for these other people. But we're not going to let this get in the way. Hillbilly 55, a Lionel Nation member for 14 months, says, welcome. Welcome, my friend. Raul Rodriguez, brother Raul, says, it seems Trump has descended on earth like a deity. Indeed, or in deity. Kendra Setlauter says we went through ideological labor pains to give birth to a new vision. Absolutely. Crypto says, cheers, Uncle Lenny, to the best days of our lives. Indeed. Spandex says, is anyone going to think bedpan Biden's pockets for White House silverware? Or will going to frisk, or will he be able to purchase some on eBay? That, believe it or not, is reminiscent of Warren Harding. Warren Harding, who basically was famous for that. I think he lost the White House china, or words to that effect, or something. By the by, in the White House, one of the most interesting things that we have is the china in this one room where you have all the china from the various presidents. Very interesting. I don't know why I never thought I'd find it interesting, but I did. No, recognize something right now, my friends. You're seeing something which is so critical, so unbelievably critical. This is something that I cannot put into words. What you are seeing. Recognize this. Call your children in. Call your grandchildren. Make sure they see this. They're not. You're going to say, you're going to have to tell them, you're going to remember this one day. You're going to be able to tell your friends, I remember the days of this. I remember this date. I remember what Trump was. I remember this. I don't know what people think. Sometimes I really get the impression, I honestly do, that because Trump is not, how do I say this, George Washington-like, whatever the hell that means, that people mistake him. People don't really take him for being that serious. Edie Crowley says, as the temperature drops, our spirits rise. Indeed. Pilgrim says, I'm genuinely happy and relieved and have hope. Noon, I will have hope. Noon. Something is happening right now. It is being a part of a revolution. I always see this. I've been through many, many cultural revolutions, and not to use the Mao term, but for example, when music came about, when hip-hop came. I remember the time thinking that hip-hop was something I never saw before. Cobb says, good morning, sir. Welcome one to the dawning of our new age. Could not have said it better myself. None of this is exaggerated, by the way. But I remember when hip-hop came, I said, you're watching something. You're missing this. This is, you're seeing the birth of something that's never before. This is not R&B. This is not rock and roll. This is not recognizable as anything anybody's ever seen. It is a completely an American. And there's some similarities. That's what that was. But people said, yeah, it's crap. They didn't miss it. No. This is something, remember something. You are seeing the end of this left-right nonsense. This doesn't mean anything anymore. Left and right. What does that mean? I don't know. Today, let me tell you something that is obscure, that is archaic, which doesn't exist. Racism. Nobody today, but nobody, and I mean this, nobody feels a dislike for a person merely because of skin color. You understand this? Look at this. Someone just wrote, Lionel, please address the pardons. I did. I just did. This is why sometimes you got to read these things. I think somebody's got to be trolling me. After I just I'm reading Alexander Hamilton and the pardon, and what it's about, please discuss it. It's like, I just did. Anyway, doesn't matter. Look, you know what? Nothing can in any way, excuse me. And I got to realize this. Not everybody knows what's going on, so I'll try to be a little bit more patient. But I don't think people either sometimes, I don't think we really grasp what's happening. Because up till now, you've been looking at this, it's like relative. You know, if you're in a car on a smooth road and there are windows that are closed, you don't know you're moving. You don't realize you're in something which is absolutely historic. I mentioned before about race. People dislike each other today because of class, because of what you say. It's not skin color. Skin color is over with. There is no such thing as skin color. We have so many versions of skin color, and race doesn't mean anything. That's not it. It's different today. But we're using old phrases. The color of your skin. It's not the color of your skin. That has nothing to do with it. It's different. That might have been the precursor to this. But that's why this left and right is nonsense. And you have to look around and you're seeing this. Even folks, this is important, even people like Fox News and Newsmax, they don't understand it because they're in this car and they've been talking to fellow people. They don't understand what's happening. They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't see it. At noon today is this change. It's like being a part, going back to the analogy, of that Bronx apartment. This one apartment where rap music was created. One place, right there. Boom. It's like seeing these moments in bluegrass when Bill Monroe and the Appalachians, and oh my God, they took this and they said, you know what this is? This is the beginning of everything. This is a precursor. When the blues, I keep using analogies. There are three sources of everything culinary that we on this earth enjoy. And it is Roman, Greece, and China, or I guess Peking should be, whatever. But Italian, not French. French is new. Italian, believe it or not, Greek, and Chinese. Chinese is the most prolific. Everything you do from big. This is the fundamentals. What are we seeing right now? First of all, a resurgence of free speech. A resurgence of free speech. A resurgence of free speech. A resurgence of absolutely. Spandex, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Spandex. The pardons, don't worry about the pardons. Doesn't matter. You don't need, these pardons are unnecessary. I will say one thing about the pardons, going back to what I said. Liz Cheney had nothing to worry about. Fauci committed perjury and maybe evidence tampering. Hillary Clinton. Did Hillary Clinton get a pardon? I don't think so. You don't need a pardon. She destroyed film. You know, you've heard the Hannity bleach bet, whatever. You don't need pardons. You don't need this. Las reglas han cambiado. Thank you. Do you understand? You don't need these things. You don't need this stuff. It is Adam Kinzinger. This was nothing but a kind of General Milley doesn't need a pardon. He didn't do anything. Let me tell you something. I promise you, as a prosecutor, they couldn't touch me for anything unless there was abuse of process or some kind of malicious prosecution or something. But I never did anything. I am protected by I'm sovereign immunity. These people. You don't need pardons for this. Nothing. Liz Cheney, a pardon for what? For doing her job, for utilizing the system. You might disagree with it. You might not like it. She didn't commit any crimes. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even matter. So don't worry about that. That was personal. That was a And as we've said, if you read the, by the way, let me tell you something. There are these folks, I don't know why, but every now and then somebody will say, I didn't get your newsletter. I say, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you about that one, but there are people, by the way, loads of folks who are getting the newsletters without any problem whatsoever. And again, I hate this word newsletter. But like I said, I get this GoDaddy, email encryption, quarantine, their scores. We're not going to go through that again. Okay, so what's happening next? First of all, number one, a brand new everything. I'm going to say this to you. The TikTok thing was to Israel. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. This guy, I don't know if Trump is doing this. And by the way, I don't say that out of any kind of malice or antipathy towards Israel per se. But I'm telling you what this was. TikTok was about one of the biggest problems was the AIPAC and the Israeli lobby. And we got to stop pretending it doesn't exist. Please stop it. You're insulting our intelligence. But they said, we got to do something about this. All of this stuff is coming up. It was horrible. Did you see this deal? This hostage exchange worth 3 for 100? I don't know how that is. Again, I'm focused on my country today. But Trump has been playing that thing perfectly. Notice how Jared Kushner, get out, go away. Notice that? Jared Kushner, go away. Trump does not like being talked to. Bibi Netanyahu thinks he runs this country. He thinks he owns everything. No. And this is one thing where Obama was correct. When you have the leader of a country come and you address our Congress and you're, wait, not, whoa, hold it. It's protocol, baby. Warren Ocasio says, even the first lady returns with F around and find out attitude. Oh, yes, absolutely. So, just very quickly, the TikTok thing was one day. TikTok even said that was Blinken. That was the last thing. And somebody better reel in that Marco Rubio and say, now listen, I know what's going on here, but you're not running for office anymore. You don't have any AIPAC to worry about. Nobody's gonna primary you. You're out of it. We have to look. This year, starting now, we have to be realists. We have to say, this is what's going on. You better put China into perspective, and he's ready to do that. China owns all of this farmland all of a sudden next to military bases. Do you think China is into farmland? Do you think that China cares about growing soybeans? Come on. Right next to military bases? That was okay. Weather balloons flying all across the United States. All across before they were shot down. Hey, what are we going to do? I don't know what we're going to do. Well, we should shoot them down. Maybe we shoot them down. Yeah. There you go with that. So don't tell me all of a sudden. And everything that China gets in terms of what it learns using TikTok, they can buy it. They'll give people that. China, this is the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. Nobody's going to ban TikTok. This is what it was about. But if you tell somebody something, what? Listen, I want people to understand this. Do you know what's going to happen when people start finding out what's happening in the world today? My friends, do you understand this? We are going to be vindicated at levels you never thought before. We are going to be vindicated. Everything from vaccines to 9/11 to geoengineering to food dye number. There was nothing that the left, whoever these people were, they didn't care about anything. They didn't care about the truth, historical revision, nothing. Historical revision, historical alteration, historical clarification, whatever. They had nothing. All they did was they hated Trump. That's it. That's all they had. That was it. They didn't even care about, nobody cared. Do you think today, you look around at women today in particular who are walking around basically just reminding you how beautiful they are. But do you really think these people were into transgenderism? Come on. K2Z says memo, report, bulletin instead of newsletter. Very good. I just called it news. Thank you so much. Fred Pound says, did you say that Trump has not been convicted of any crime or felony? If that's true, can you explain it for us again? I really want to understand that. I did not say he was convicted under, technically speaking, one could argue that, yeah, he was convicted of a crime with no punishment, which I think one could argue is, I mean, there was no, this is the hush money case, which wasn't hush money. Let me give you an example of something. A conviction is a complete and total. Kelly McKinnon, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, dear heart. So kind of you. A conviction is a formal finding of guilt. Let me give you a question. I'll give you an example. When you get a speeding ticket and you pay it, be careful of something. If you ever get into an accident, ever get into an accident, especially an accident with a personal injury or anything along that, property damage, whatever it is, do not pay the ticket. Go to court, do something, see if they can keep the points off your record. Plead no contest, because when you pay a ticket, you have pled guilty. You have admitted to all of the allegations in the well-pled document. That you were driving, that you were careless, that you were They just take that certified copy and they go right to civil court. And guess what? Now they just prove damages because fault's already been determined by you in pleading guilty. But when you go and you have a speeding ticket and you go before a judge, depending upon your jurisdiction, sometimes a judge will say, if you go to driving school, enter a plea of no contest, perhaps, go to driving school, I will keep these points off your record. I will withhold adjudication, or as one client of mine said, adjudification. I will withhold adjudication. You are not convicted. No points. That's the best way. So, at least this guy went to a driving school. He did something. In Trump's case, what did he do? Nothing. Not a sentence, not a fine, not an hour. I heard one of the things which was, and follow me on this, one of the best things available would have been for Trump to have been sentenced to appearing at a courthouse. Either just remotely on Zoom, but just show up maybe one time, 8 hours, 4 hours, an hour, and just do something as a slap on the wrist, not as a consequence of the hush money business, but because of, this is important, because of the contempt. He was subject to a lot of contempt citations, but he did nothing. He was convicted in the history, in the annals of American jurisprudence, jurisprudentially, juridically. How do you have a conviction when you never had a fine? They never withheld adjudication. He never did anything. He wasn't fined. He wasn't in prison. He wasn't, nothing. What kind of a conviction? A formal finding of guilt? Because it's not merely because the jury finds you guilty. The judge has to. So at least they can say, okay, he was convicted. That is going to be overturned so fast, it's not even funny. Next, Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, I'm telling you now, is going to pardon him. They're going to go to her and they're going to say, you don't understand. This Trump stuff has worn off. They don't care anymore. It's over with. She's going to have to worry about New York because Trump's also going to put the pressure on and get rid of our congestion pricing, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world. You go out the door and you pay $9 just to drive around. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. But you know what? Who cares? Trump, they indicted him. They've got what am I trying to say? I've got a what's the word? They've got a mugshot. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. So the most important things, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is for you to realize and recognize a couple of things, that this is something which is so difficult for people to grasp. Don't worry about this. But what you're going to be seeing now with the advent of Elon Musk, more importantly, you're going to be seeing something so important and so critical. I got to tell you something right now, my friends. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. There is something that is happening to us. There is something that is happening to this country where we have been kind of awakened from this torpor, this whatever you want to call it. And we have been unable to move. And what I want to see is to be able to discuss at every level, specifically this medium you are looking at now. Let me say something to you, and let me remind you of something. Everything that you normally see, everything that has been called legacy media is dead. It's gone the way of shortwave radio. It's over with. AM radio, FM radio, horrible. It's done. It is finished. It is over. Done. It doesn't exist. It doesn't mean anything. CNN, Fox News, that's nice. It's like, just when you need something to eat, like fast food or something. What we have done is we have realized that there is a depth, there is a level of understanding, which is so important and so critical. We have to get to the point, and this is the most important, we have to get to the point where people are recognizing the fact, and this is important, this is critical, but where people are recognizing the fact that we have been lied to for so long. I like when Trump talks about releasing the files on JFK. You're not going to find anything out, but it's okay. Release the files, release UFO files, release what happened on that terrible day in our country, 9/11. Find out what happened. You do know you don't know what happened. You do know this. I promise you. This is a long time ago. There were young people today who don't understand it. You've got to show people. We have been saying this for the longest time. We've been lost in the woods, and we have been crushed by who? People who deal with, specifically, new social media platforms. Elon Musk changes that. Let Elon Musk go. Let him bring his son, bring X, have fun, do whatever he wants. I don't care. He changes everything. I don't care. Let Bobby Kennedy do this. Bobby Kennedy involved with health. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was something that we could not believe. This was something that we could not believe. This was something that was unbelievable. This was something that we went through and we were told, shut up, shut up, shut up. We will shut you down. We will fire you. You won't be able to go into restaurants. You won't be able to go on public transportation. You won't be able to go to your work. You won't be able to work in your hospital. You will not be. And if you say anything, that innocent thing you thought, this thing called just social media, we will take that away from you. We were under a kind of a gulag. I've never seen anything like it. That's over with now. It's done. Do you reckon that could only have been with Trump and with others and this period of Biden? We would never be able to be where we are today unless we had gone through this. Madeline Newkirk, ladies and gentlemen, says, enjoy the beautiful inauguration ceremony today. So grateful this day has finally arrived. Thank you, Lionel, for all you and Mrs. L do. Madeline Newkirk, thank you so much for your kindness. Oh, I'm going to, I don't even know, not weep. I'm not into that. I just am shocked. I'm overwhelmed. You're going to see, this is just, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen. So here's what I want everybody to listen to. I want you to raise your right hand and promise me something. Number one, do you solemnly swear, not to tell the truth, but you solemnly swear that you will do what I tell you? Number one, you are not going to let anything ruin today. Nothing anybody says, nothing anybody does. Not a friend, a neighbor, an in-law, a cousin, a coworker, maybe a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody. Nobody will be able to affect what you're doing. Nobody. Love Vanessa is a new member. Thank you, Love Vanessa. Number two, you don't care from this day forward what anybody says about Trump or anything else. When you meet someone, when you meet somebody who sends you something, sends you an article, sends you a, I don't know what. I get these stupid email things all the time. Our YouTube channels like, hey, did you see this guy? It's like, what are we watching this for? It's like, what? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Hey, there's this guy as well as YouTube is about the moon landing. It's like, this is a YouTube. He's a schmuck. What is this? Well, I don't know. I just wanted to let you know that. You know what I say? I don't care. Remember something. Have you ever dealt with crazy people? Listen to what I'm telling you. I have been through, not crazy people, but I have been through many of the institutions as a visitor and an observer with clients and the like. And the first rule is you never get involved in their delusion. You never, ever play with them. You never, ever talk to somebody who's psychotic who says, I'm from Venus. You go, well, what is it like on Venus? No. Don't do it. You might think you're being cute. These people can be dangerous. Never get into their delusion. Number two, whether it's your job, whether it's somebody you like, you treat them like they're a combination of they're crazy, they're a child, or they're retarded. And what you do is you merely look at them and you say, interesting. And that's it. And you move on. You do not have to respond. You do not have to react. You do not have to be mad or happy or question them or correct them or clarify. No. Interesting. And you move on. I have a friend of mine who used to be a radio guy. He would say, fascinating. And he would move on. And that was all he would say. No, that's it. Interesting. It's like Nurse Ratched. You know, you look at, yeah. Well, you know, Trump is this, that. It's interesting. And then move on. Don't engage these people. They've lost. Let them lose. I don't care. I don't care what, it doesn't matter. I swear to God, they are irrelevant. It's like if somebody, imagine if somebody were to argue right now about Hubert Humphrey. You would say, what? This guy keeps talking about Hubert Humphrey. He's crazy. Biden is Hubert Humphrey. Now, however, the people who are above those people, the people who are above are somebody who are very, very, very serious. Because these people, believe it or not, are still part of the deep state. And they're very, very frightening. These people are part of the intel state, the deep state, the intel state, the shadow government. They're there. We'll get to that later. You are not going to let this bother you. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to wrap up a little bit now. We're going to wait. We're going to go watch your TV. I don't want to split the screen and all this stuff. I want to watch it, be with my Mrs. L to watch what's going on. Afterwards, stay tuned because I'm going to be back. And I want to finally sit there and say with you, can you believe this happened? So love, Vanessa. Madeline Newkirk, thank you so, so much for your kindness. Kelly McKinnon, Fred Pound, K2, Warren Ocasio, Tom Malloy, Spandex, Cobbs, Pilgrim Media, Edie Crowley, Crypto Dominic, Kendra, thank you, Raul Rodriguez, and Hillbilly, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Spandex says, is it true one has to swear to uphold the Constitution by signing a document, or does the verbal suffice? Did I miss your take? No, he will sign. There will be, I believe the president does something, some signature. I would think he would want to. Donald Trump loves his signature and will do everything. I think there has to be a formal recordation where you accept something. Everything he does, there must be some a witness at noon pursuant to the Constitution. That's it. It's done. And remember, he is ready to go. He's got about 100 or 200,000, whatever. He's got 1,000 people already placed. He has his own executive orders, PDDs, signing statements, you name it. So much stuff. So listen to me. Now listen to me. Stop writing for 1 second. We've been through a lot, my friends. We have been through the darkest period of our time. We have wondered, how are we going to do it? We have been laughed at, chided, abused. We have been treated like scum. This is our day. You see this? This is our day. This man, this totemic feature. I bought this at the White House gift shop. And I have all my memorabilia. God bless it. We did it. And because today we are America. Let me say that again. I don't think people really get that. I'm an American. I'm not an Italian American. I'm an American. I'm not a white American. I'm an American. It doesn't know gender. It doesn't know race. It doesn't know anything. I'm an American. And I believe in this notion, this thing called the Constitution. Now, there we go, right here. This is what this is my copy. This is it. This is the official rule book. And it's not like any other constitution, because you don't just write it and then say, okay, well then try. No, it's enforced. And it's enforced and it's followed. And this is the greatest day ever. We did it. We have been through this. Think about the darkest period. I will never go through in detail what Mrs. L and I went through. You have no idea. But that's okay. Right now I'm reading this. I'm going to be following this. It says Trump to issue, I think, 10 executive orders right away. Whatever it is. So anyway, my friends, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's try. Remember, subscribe to Lionel Nation. Stay subscribed. Sometimes you're unsubscribed. Make sure you are subscribed so that you and I can join together again later on, after this, after we're done, after the moment is done. Everything else afterwards is like, whew, thank you. Because unless and until I hear him say, so help you God, so help me God, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it. All right, my friends, we love you. God bless America. God bless President Trump. And God bless you. And thank you. We'll see you later. Don't forget, subscribe to Lionel Nation right now. 87% of the people, I still can't believe this, the people who watch don't subscribe. This is what puts us into the HOV lane of positive metrics, okay? Metricity. I just made that word up. It's a neologism. All right, friends, we'll talk to you later. Don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.